Creatives Meet Business, an event and podcast series in Austin for creatives of all disciplines to define themselves as artists and creatives, and small business owners, and entrepreneurs. Damn, it never ends. As a creative person herself, her previous film work was featured at Sundance and South by Southwest, earning several awards. Please welcome the wonderful Ashland Viscosi. For those out there who don't know, explain what Creatives Meet Business is.
Yes.
And how you came up with the idea.
Yes. So do you want me to talk about the experience too?
Yes.
Okay. So Creatives Meet Business is actually a series of small group roundtable discussions that help artists and creatives figure out the business side. How do you become sustainable as an artist? Well, by being connected to the right people who can help you grow and people outside of your discipline. So that helps you really understand the whole infrastructure and environment. The experience is actually 3 days of hands-on workshops on artistry, business, marketing, and storytelling.
Pretty
Yeah.
awesome. But how did you come up with the idea?
Right, I forgot that.
What's the origin story?
The origin story is great, and thank you for saying origin story.
I love people's origin stories, meet cutes, I want to hear them all.
Exactly, it takes me into Spider-Man, like how we came to the idea of action. So the origin story is funny, because when you talked about film, it's really tied in with that. So I was with the Austin Film Society for a series of years and involved in the film community. And something I would see happening is the people who came to support films were filmmakers. It's like, well, that's weird. Austin's a very creative city. Why are more creatives not coming in support of this? Why are we so segmented, and why do we just support the discipline we identify with? So how do we broaden that out? So that was step one. Step two is Austin is getting more and more expensive. That's not a surprise to anybody, right? And that's not changing. So how do we actually weather that? How do we have the tools and resources that we need to become sustainable? So I address that with the experience and with the Creatives Meet Business.
Awesome.
Yeah. I also think largely too, it's academia might not be the right environment to learn. So it's how as an adult you get access to content and other people.
It's like a more accessible grad school.
Yeah, thank you. And less expensive.
Yes. So what are the biggest challenges and your favorite things about running Creatives Meet Business, your own brand?
Yeah. My favorite things, oh my God, there's so many. I love being able to choose who I partner with. And so every one of my events, so I'm not a subject matter expert in PR or social media or fundraising or the different events that I've done. I work with people who are. And so together we figure out, well, who are the right people to bring in, what are the right questions, and how is it going to help the creative community grow? So being able to select who I think is the right fit for the audience is amazing. So I get to choose those partnerships, which is great. And then did you say challenges?
Yes.
Oh, I tend to view challenges as opportunities though. So like
Your strengths are your weaknesses, like Michael Scott?
Yeah, exactly. No, not quite that. It's more, I love entrepreneurship, but it can be very lonely. So I create different environments to where I'm not alone, where I do have temporary partnerships that serve what they need to serve. But it can be very isolating.
Gotcha. So we also mentioned there's a podcast.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a favorite episode or most memorable guest?
So the way the podcast works actually, so it's not an interview series. What I do is, as I mentioned, the small group roundtable events, the whole time they're actually wearing headset mics. So I just record them in real time at the live events.
Do they know they're being recorded?
Oh yeah, they're very there's release forms. And it's funny, there's a total, what's the word I want to use? Every single time it happens the same way. So I walk them through, like, the first one's never going to be strong. The sixth one, you're going to be tired. And you find your stride in the third. And it's always true. And I hear it and tell them that as well. The one I just posted actually is amazing. It's with Baby Munier. She's a psychologist, and she's talking about boundaries. And while you would think that boundaries are external, they're actually something largely internal of who are you setting the boundary with in the first place. It's with yourself to then better communicate that with others. It's a really solid episode. They're all 15 minutes or less, which is great. They're like digestible TED Talks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about the Leadership Austin Emerge program you participated in. 'Cause I don't think a lot of people know what that is, what it entails.
I love the Emerge program so much. So I did that a few years back, and when I did it, I didn't really know. Should I be looking at you or them? I want to look at
wherever
everyone.
You feel comfortable.
Okay, like everything constantly. So with the Emerge program, which I so love, did not know what I was getting into at all. I was just like, oh, this sounds cool. So it's networking in the sense that you have a big class of about 55 other people with you. They have multiple programs though, and Leadership Austin's been around for probably 35 or at least 30 to 35 years. That's about right. So it's leadership development in the sense that it's more about figuring out what's going to help you grow and be empowered, and then how do you then externalize that. Of course,
So
I
people
did
with
not
all
know that.
different backgrounds,
All different
industries, got
Yeah,
it.
all different industries, all different backgrounds, nonprofits, for-profits, you own your own company, what have you. But it's really, there's differences between emerge and essentials. Emerge is who are you as a leader? Essentials is, okay, we'll go and be external about it.
Got it. Damn.
Yeah.
Did you take from that to
So
apply to
much.
creatives make business?
Yes,
Yeah.
it did. And I would never have, oh, that's probably not a fair thing to say. Maybe it would have taken me longer to get there with starting my own company. But where I was in my job, I actually turned out, has anybody in this room actually figured out, like, what do I value and written it down and, like, actually been mindful and intentional about it? Or do you just, like, think you know what it is?
No, I thought fortune cookies
Right.
did that for us.
Exactly. So then I was like, that's like woo-woo and crystals, and like, of course I know what I value, duh. And I was like, oh wait, I actually don't have a clue until somebody asked me to write it down. And then I was writing them down, I was like, ooh, authenticity, this. And then I realized, well, I'm not getting to show that where I work. Oh, that's interesting. And then now that I've seen that, well, what do I want to do about it? Do I want to take action, or do I just want to be complicit in not letting myself recognize that and not change how I want to show up? So then what I care about is connecting people largely.
Yeah.
So I create infrastructures that allow people to connect meaningfully.
Very interesting.
Thank you. I strongly recommend Leadership Austin. If you ever need a referral, you can use my name. I love it.
So you have like a million side hustles,
I do.
main hustles.
I do.
One of them is you're involved with ATX Television
True.
Festival.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your role with them?
Yeah, so I coordinate all sponsor relations there. I have for about 5 years now. Yeah, so what I do, there's a lot of things that happen with festivals and sponsors, and it's something that can be overlooked if you're not intentional or mindful about it. And sponsors are a large part of how you're able to produce things. And so it's making sure activations are set up properly and people have all the hand-holding and all the love that they need.
Do you go to the panels while you're there?
No, I've seen one thing across my 5 years, and I like put my foot down and had to do it.
Which
I love The
one?
Wire. Like I freakishly love The
yeah.
Wire. I love The Wire so much I stopped watching it because I didn't want it to ever be over. So I stopped midway through season 4. I've now finished it and rewatched the whole thing, so it's fine. But I like never wanted it to ever be fully over. And so when David Simon was there with Tommy Montana, I was like, no, this is one thing I'm doing. Like,
Damn.
for sure doing this.
I
It was
have-
amazing.
I have a similar problem, except I just can't finish it physically. Like I started it years ago,
Yeah.
and it's like a very mentally involved show.
Which
and
one?
it's
The Wire?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I started it and I'm like, because everyone's like, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Stop after 4. Don't watch season 5. Just don't.
Okay.
It'll ruin it for you a lot.
Okay.
I stopped when I should.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
It's real bad.
So I actually met Ashland. She did like a cool networking, not like lame networking workshop at my job. So I know a little like weird specific things about her. Best cheese plate in town.
Oh my god.
She loves cheese plates.
Based on price, Blue Dahlia. Blue Dahlia. It's like you get a quarter pound of cheese for about $5 to $10. It's absurd, but you have to get there by 6 p.m. Oh, it's $10 because the glasses of wine are 5. So I love theirs.
That's a good
And
deal.
yeah, I'm sad to learn of a closure of a restaurant that had an amazing cheese plate, but priced slightly too high, which may explain why they're not in business.
The cheese plate
Apothecary.
put us out.
It was too high on happy hour. It's like, you gotta knock it down to
Yeah.
like at least 12.
Mhm.
But I love Blue Dahlia, mainly because of the affordability, and it's a quarter pound of cheese.
Damn.
It's so good. And they'll give you more bread if you ask really nicely.
You know she's like legit about this because you would think someone would be like Antonelli's, but that's like some like underbelly like cheese plate knowledge.
If you do go to Antonelli's though, they have an amazing Gouda with these flavor crystals. It's like, it's a unused Gouda.
Tell them Ashland sent you. So most memorable Halloween costume.
It's my go-to every single year, so therefore it's my most memorable. So for years, I lived in Oklahoma. For like 19 years, I can't gloss over it, even though I was born here in Austin. And I like the Flaming Lips. I'm not a huge fan, but I love what they do for Oklahoma and Oklahoma City specifically. So they have this March of the Flaming Skeletons every year through downtown Oklahoma City, which is pretty amazing. There's 1,000 people in costumes with torches. So I did that one year, and it has like their logo imprinted on the butt.
Oh wow!
And
Did they
so-
provide it to you?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was, I
Got
think,
Flaming Lips money.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
so I still have it, and then I always have a skeleton in my closet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Dark.
I'm gonna go cheesy with that. That was an obvious one, but
Last question.
Yeah.
What would you like to see for the future of Creatives Meet Business?
So with the experience, so Creatives Meet Business, there's the small group roundtable sessions. The next one's on November 14th. There's the podcast, and then there's the experience, which I'm super passionate about because I want to bring all creatives together. I want creatives to know, like, hey, it's amazing that you've got your circle of comics, and you should. Like, there's so much that's going to come from that community that you need to know each other and appreciate your skill sets, but also understand what a filmmaker can do, a choreographer, a culinary artist, musician, app developer. Everybody is a maker, and to have that mentality, you're just naturally empathetic for each other, and they're a great source for you. So to help open up and widen what it means to be a creative and what it means to be a member of that creative community. But while I want that here in Austin, I want other communities to feel as close as we do here. So I want to take the experience and Creatives Meet Business to other communities, like Louisville, Nashville, Portland. And,
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I think you
you.
converted all the starving artists in our audience. Before I let you go, we have
Yay! I don't know who did that.
before I let you go, we have a tradition of gifting the strong female leader with something from Dollar Tree. Not a sponsor, I have to legally say that. To thank them for their service. And so I know you wanted to carve a pumpkin.
Did you see
last
what I
week.
posted on Instagram?
No, I
Just
didn't.
carved-
Oh.
No, I carved one, and it was really, really sad because as I walked up to go on stage to show it to people, it fell inside of it, and somebody asked me if I just punched it.
That's like a metaphor for life right now.
I know, this is
And then also, this is what they're going to replace Obamacare with. So. Thank you so much. You can learn more about Creatives Meet Business on their site, cmbatx.com, and follow them on Twitter @CreateMeetBiz. And now for another round of improv commercials from Roundhouse.